Hello everybody and welcome to another amazing video of DIY investing. For today's video, I have an important update to share with you because Bitcoin has held support. This was the most important level that we were watching. I've given you guys very exact analysis, detailed analysis on exactly why I believe that Bitcoin was going to hold this support, why this was going to end up being a double bottom, and we have now got that confirmation. Now is the moment of time where we're going to see if Bitcoin is going to hold support and confirm this trend reversal and actually send Bitcoin into new highs upwards of $40,000. In my opinion, anybody that's positioned early for this next move is going to be able to capitalize on an insane amount of profit, but it's important to be early. And so for today's video, I'm going to break down exactly how to prepare yourself so that we can capture this profitable move that's about to take place. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And with that being said, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, now here we are to start off today's video, and we are going to be breaking down everything that you need to know about Bitcoin so that we can position ourselves, so that we can profit off of this next move taking place. Now, as you guys know, what I had been talking about was basically this entire consolidation either happening one of two ways. Either this is a bearish head and shoulder top before we end up breaking down, or this is going to be a successful double bottom before we end up getting a trend reversal. And this is a very important part and time for Bitcoin specifically because of the fact we've spent so long inside of this accumulation. It's either going to be an accumulation range before one more final blow off top, or it is ultimately the top already before a deeper bearish consolidation. And there's only two different scenarios that I see fit. And we're going to talk about each one and which direction that I'm personally leaning towards that Bitcoin is going to end up going. Now, right off the bat, guys, I posted this on Twitter, so if you guys ever want to see anything I do post on Twitter, make sure to follow in the description below. But regardless, guys, at the last video, we were right down in here at the very last line of support, and I told you guys how, as of right now, it looks like this is going to hold support. And if we are going to hold support, I believe that we are going to see a big move and potentially see a breakout from this range high. And that was really what we needed to see. The most important thing for Bitcoin was to see this support hold, confirm this double bottom formation being right there, and for us to confirm the double bottom, we also had to break out of the range highs, being right over here at about $27,500. As you guys can see, we saw a strong impulse off of those lows, ended up peaking at about 28.5, and now we're kind of pulling back on top of that range. So as it stands, guys, I personally believe that this market can go a little bit lower. I wouldn't be surprised to see this kind of turn into a short-term ABC correction. But regardless, I think that because we held this support down in here and because we broke out of this range high, we are going to successfully hold this as support. And if and when we hold this as support, that's actually a complete trend reversal of this short-term bearish trend. And I think it's very important that we talk about this because as a double bottom formation, I've seen these things play out a number of times. That chart that I just shared with you, the black outline, that was Bitcoin back in 2015. And it was the first time that I ever traded a double bottom formation, and I've seen them play out numerous times over the Bitcoin cycles. The only difference here is this one is a short-term double bottom. Now guys, we obviously know that when we're looking at the chart, we know that we've been sitting here facing this massive head and shoulder. Everybody sees it. It's the most obvious looking pattern on the entire chart. Yet, the more obvious a pattern is, the less likely it is to play out. And that's just a rule of thumb that I've noticed. Anytime everybody sees the same pattern, it's very, very unlikely that it ends up playing out in that same way. And because every single person was talking about this head and shoulder top, it makes sense to me why we ended up holding a support down in here, right? And so guys, we have to refactor a couple things. Because the price of Bitcoin was unable to actually break down from this head and shoulder, that puts us a big focus inside of this consolidation being a bullish breakout, right? Now here's the thing, guys, when we're looking at a consolidation pattern, whether it's bearish, whether it's bullish, if it fails to break out the direction it's supposed to go, in this case a bearish head and shoulder top, when we were unable to break down right down in here and then we broke out from the double bottom, in my opinion, that gave a lot more validity to the possibility. In my opinion, that gave a lot more validity that this is actually just a bullish consolidation before we ultimately end up getting some type of continuation towards a blow off top. And it all has to do with the fact that we were unable to break down from this consolidation. If this was going to end up being a head and shoulder top, you usually would have seen the head and shoulder break down right after this range here. Because here's the thing, After the right shoulder, you have the most volume because that's where you would expect to see the breakout. It always happens after this right shoulder in a bearish top, right? Because we were unable to break down from that, that shows that there's a ton more buy support still inside of this market. And I think that that is something we should be talking about, because this wasn't just some small little impulse off of the lows. This was a confirmed double bottom. Now, I wouldn't say we have total confirmation because we do still have to hold this short-term support down in here. But I think regardless, guys, as long as we're above $27,000 in my opinion, I think that we're going to see continuation to the upside. If we start dropping back below, if this range high starts acting as resistance and we start doing stuff like this, reject, then obviously I'm going to expect to see that this is going to fall even lower. But up to this point, guys, what we needed to see for a bullish alternative was for us to hold this support right here, break out of this range high, and now hold as support. So as it stands, since my last video, we have done every single thing that we needed to see for bullish continuation. So as it stands, I'm watching for that. There's nothing that's to be overcomplicated in this trading plan. We've been nailing the tops and bottoms of this entire consolidation all the way throughout. So now that we've seen a false breakdown and now we've actually seen this impulse, I'm leaning a lot more towards this being a false head and shoulder top, and most likely this is going to lead to another impulse. Now here's the thing, guys, if we're talking about another impulse, we need to factor in the bullish alternative, we need to factor in the bullish count and the bearish count, because this is the way that we're going to be able to understand the direction that Bitcoin could take. Now, if you guys remember, what I was drawing as we were up here at the top point of this neckline, as we were at the top point of this right shoulder, I was drawing that this was a potential for a completed 5 waves up. And what we were going to end up seeing was a deeper A, B, and a C, all the way down to like 21,500, right? And that's what I was drawing. Now, as it stands, guys, because we were unable to break down right in here, that tells me that most likely this is not a completed top. And what we most likely did just complete was our wave 3. So we're going to be looking at this entire move being wave 3, this was a wave 4, and we're still waiting on our final wave 5. And the reason why I would draw it like this is because we really do have all of our subwaves in here. This was wave 1, this was obviously wave 3 and wave 4, and then if we are to see this being a subwave of wave 3, then this was obviously wave 5 of 3. So we do have a very clear Elliott wave count that shows that this could be the top of wave 3, and we did just finish wave 4. And the reason why I say that we could have finished wave 4 is because when we're looking at this on a weekly time frame, the most important level on this entire chart, which I'm going to remove these real quick, the most important level on this entire chart has been this 6-month consolidation range that we just spent in, right? And we did finally just break out of that. And so I don't know why more people aren't talking about this. I really don't understand. Because when we're looking at this, this was our most important level on the entire chart. This was 6 months plus worth of consolidation. We broke out from that. We are now retesting that as support, and not only did we retest that as support, we retested this level twice as support, and the second time was a false breakdown. So what does that tell me? It tells me we broke out from over 6 months of an accumulation range that was also the bottom of our bear market. We retested that level. The second time we retested that, we got a breakout and confirmed a double bottom formation, which is a reversal point all the way up to this range high right here in the short term, which will be $31,000. So as it stands, based off of just general technical analysis, based off of what the rule book says if you go buy a TA book, double bottoms, once support has held, being basically this level right down in here in this mid-range point, once we hold this as support, and if we do get continuation, that is where we will see continuation and a complete trend reversal of this consolidation right here, right? We've seen lower lows and lower highs all the way through. The way a double bottom works is you have the trend, whether bullish or bearish. In this case, it's bearish. You have lower lows, lower highs all the way through, right? Eventually, you hit a point where there's only so much sell side pressure and there's only so much more momentum that can go. And eventually, you hit the lowest point, right? You might consolidate a bit, and sometimes you even get a retest of that same bottom. Because we did see that exact same move and we broke out from this range high here, a retest of that range high, even if we come inside of this move a little bit, it's still the same pattern. And if we do get continuation from that, we don't break down, it's a reversal point all the way back up to the range highs. all the way up here, or in the case of Bitcoin's price, $31,000. That would be our target. And in my opinion, if we're holding support down in here and we break out of this descending resistance, it's a go-ahead that we are going to see a final blow off top. And I think everything is riding on the fact that we did just break out of this multi-month consolidation. We technically just retested it twice. Inside of this retest was a confirmed double bottom, or working on a confirmed double bottom. And in my opinion, once this holds a support or we get the confirmation, either way, I think that if this holds a support and we go bullish, it's leading us to a big blow off top, upwards of 40K, upwards of 50K per BTC. And it's going to look a lot like the 2019 run up, guys. And it's really amazing to me how similar the two cycles have already played out. I think it's really amazing how similar they are. Bitcoin went through a very similar type of accumulation, kind of went through this rounded bottom. We started breaking out. But it was really this move right here where we had this 6K resistance and support for so long. We had this level, and it was such an important level. Everybody knew down in here that we were never going to break out from it first try. Everybody thought that we were going to run up to here and correct and come back down and spend all this time kind of going sideways. But that's not what happened. Bitcoin broke out of this level, flipped it as support, higher highs, higher lows, and then that led us to this final blow off top to complete that first impulse, right? And that led us all the way back up to that 618. No two cycles are ever 100% the same, but what we are noticing up to this point is the consolidation from the bear market bottom to where we're at today really doesn't look that different. I mean, out to this point, this entire consolidation to me just kind of looks like a parabolic advance in the same way that the one in 2019 did per Bitcoin. And I think that that's really what we're creating. And so because we got over this 25K resistance, which was the most important level on our chart, because we've successfully retested that, in my opinion, as long as support holds roughly where we're at, I think that this leads us to a very, very quick and sudden blow off top and the completion of this first new impulse to begin our cycle. I think it's going to catch a lot of people off guard, but that's just the way it always works, guys. I know that I've been talking about why I was bearish all the way throughout here. I was bearish throughout this entire consolidation. I flipped bear at the low end of this support, and I talked about how we could hold this and make a double bottom. So now that we've seen that play out, I'm once again flipped back bullish. You know, I mean, it's been very obvious, guys. If you've been following the channel, I haven't made as many updates lately because I haven't needed to. I've been saying the same thing for months now. And the thing I've been constantly saying to you guys has been, we're inside of an obvious range right here. A very obvious range where we have a very clear support. Make that green. Then we have a very clear resistance being up here, right? Make that red. Because we were up here, I was bearish, and then the market sold off. Because we were back down on the support low, I said, it's better off being bullish down in here than you are bearish. And we held support, and we broke out. So now that we're in the mid-range point, we need to see this hold support, and then in my opinion, it's going to take us into that next leg up. That's the final thing that we need to see, and that final leg will be the final blow off top of this first cycle. In the same way that once we cleared this 6K level, it acted in that same way in the last cycle. That's what I believe is taking place. And so people can doubt it, people can do whatever, but up to this point, I've been very, very accurate on the entirety of this run up. And you know, you can go back and watch all the videos. We have nailed the tops and bottoms very consistently all the way up this entire move. So, you know, I'm sticking with this analysis. Nothing is going to change. I'm going to continue to give you guys this same update. Now, when we look at the total market cap, this was another important chart that we were factoring in, where what we were talking about was whether this was going to hold a support or whether we're going to break down. Now, in my opinion, the total market cap was really the thing giving everything away for the direction the Bitcoin was going to take, because we spent all of this time consolidating right at the low end of this range. If we were going to break down, it would have happened here. It wasn't a breakdown. In fact, we broke out, and we're now sitting back on top of the prior range support. So everything we've needed to see for Bitcoin to be bullish has happened. There's nothing that has happened that is telling us that Bitcoin is bearish, that this thing's going to nuke, that we're going to fall again. As it stands, we're holding support, we've confirmed the support, and we're now looking like we've confirmed a double bottom formation, which is a reversal of this entire bearish trend. Now, when we're looking at the altcoin total market cap, it's kind of in an in-between stage where we're sitting in between the range lows and the range highs, just in the mid-range point. But I don't really think anything changes. You know, we did hold the same support, so as long as Bitcoin and as long as the total market cap goes up, we're going to expect to see the altcoins go up. Because I think regardless, what we're looking at across the board is basically a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're working on our final wave 5. In my opinion, the altcoins for a wave 5 are not going to be going all the way up to 1.2 trillion, or even 1 trillion for that matter. I think that we would go to basically like right here, which would be $824 billion. I don't think that we're going to have quite the same impulse for the altcoins, but I mean the total market cap chart, this one would go up quite a bit higher. I think that the total market cap would probably run upwards of this. And if Bitcoin is to go all the way to the 618, we'll probably see a little bit of a variance here. If Bitcoin runs all the way up to the 618 and then tops and does something like that, right? I don't know what it'll look like. Let's assume Bitcoin runs up to the 618 and tops. Then the total market cap will probably run up to this level here at about $1.8 trillion in top. It won't run all the way up to that move at the 618 because we're also factoring in the altcoins with this. And if the altcoins are only going to be running upwards of maybe this resistance here, then that's where we're going to end up seeing a variance. So if Bitcoin goes to 618, the total market cap isn't going to go all the way up that high, and then the altcoins especially are not going to go up that high. We'll kind of see a variance in the same way that we did in the last cycle. I mean, if we're looking at the total altcoin market cap, altcoins really didn't do a whole lot for 2 years, and then they really took off once Bitcoin broke all-time highs. And kind of the same thing for the total market cap, where this thing took off a lot quicker because of Bitcoin. It didn't go quite as high as Bitcoin, but regardless, we see that the total market cap is going to follow Bitcoin a little bit closer, and Bitcoin generally makes bigger impulses to begin the cycle. So if we're going to end up seeing Bitcoin run to the 618, I don't think that we're going to see quite the same size of a move inside of the altcoins, but nonetheless, it'll still complete another 5-wave impulse up to $820 to $50 billion, and I think that that's going to be a very large move. I mean, if you've made any money trading altcoins down in here, you know, a lot of altcoins have exploded, and we haven't even broken out of our August high yet. So, I mean, there's a lot of really good things to look forward to. Because Bitcoin is holding support and breaking out, I mean, we're going to expect to see bullish continuation until proven otherwise. And so, I mean, everything we needed to see for continuation has actually continued to play out. So, it's a really encouraging sign if you are, in fact, a bull. Now, one final chart is the Bitcoin dominance, and we're still sitting at resistance. I don't know whether we're going to break out of this or not. We don't really have any sort of confirmation here, just kind of consolidating. There's no real momentum indicators telling us direction one way or another. But we do know that every time we have hit this resistance, it has produced a drop. So I don't know what's going to happen. This could be the time where Bitcoin just magically clears this range high, because I have talked about why I believed the Bitcoin was going to run upwards of about 52, even potentially to 58%, and then that would kind of complete that first impulse and, you know, ultimately lead altcoins into a brand new cycle like 2017. I still think the same thing. The question is, are we going to end up seeing that breakout right now, or, you know, we could still end up seeing a pullback to the mid-range point before we end up seeing that, you know, breakout of the range highs. So that's what I'm going to be watching out for with Bitcoin dominance. You know, interesting times nonetheless. I think that this is a very important point for Bitcoin and the altcoins as a whole. But I mean, if we do end up seeing one more impulse, whether it's after this correction or whether it's just pretty much right where we're at, I do believe that we're nearing the end of Bitcoin dominance increasing, and we'll see the reversal point and that money trickle back into altcoins. So I want to give you guys this video, summarize a number of things. Up to this point, our analysis has been spot on. You guys can go back and watch all the videos. It's been very consistent all the way through. I don't delete anything. It's all there for everybody to watch. And so if you're wanting to know how we've been trading this, go back and watch the videos. We've been very, very consistent with our analysis. We've been nailing a lot of these swing highs and swing lows. It's been easy though. I mean, I'm not some expert. Whenever you see a very, very obvious range, like the one that we've been sitting in for basically over a month now, it's not hard to trade it. When we're sitting on support of the range lows, you buy. When we're sitting at the range highs as resistance, you sell. And we've been in this consolidation for a month. I mean, so it's not like I'm some genius. It's been very easy to follow. And so I do apologize for the people that have been waiting for me to post every single day, because I haven't. I've been taking a little break. I've been doing my own thing, working on my yard, working on my garden, doing things like that. Because at the end of the day, what's the point of me sitting here saying the exact same thing, drawing two lines on a chart that every single one of you guys watching this channel could do yourself? And that's why I make these videos, is in hopes that you guys are able to take something away, learn from that, and be able to make, you know, improvements in your own portfolio in hopes of being more profitable. And as it stands now, guys, I think that we're seeing everything that we needed to see for Bitcoin to continue to be bullish. You know, we held the support, so I'm bullish. That's, you know, the direction I've been for the last couple weeks now. pretty much been bullish as we've been sitting on these range lows of support, because every time we've sat here, we've bounced. So I'm going to continue to play that, going to continue to stick to the analysis. If we get, now that the market's starting to move, I want to get to making more frequent uploads to you guys, but I just got kind of bored saying the exact same thing. So I hope you guys don't fault me too much for, taking a little bit of a break to work on other things, but at the same time, I think you guys understand that I don't need to sit here and say the exact same thing every single day, because I know that you guys get the point. So with that being said, I love you. I appreciate you guys. I want you guys to understand how much I do appreciate the fact that you watch this channel, whether you're somebody that comments, likes, subscribes, you just watch the videos and you're not subscribed, or whether you're somebody that drops hate comments in the description. I really don't care what it is. I love you guys. Every single bit of it helps. Even the people that are commenting negative stuff, I would argue you guys are helping the algorithm more. So if you have something negative to say it below. If you have something positive to say it below. Regardless of who you are and what you believe about me, I just want you guys to know that my goal is to see you profit. My goal is to see everybody here that watches this channel make $1 million, make $10 million, because for me, I've made a lot of money for myself in this market, but there's nothing more satisfying than hearing you guys message me on Discord, email me, drop comments in the description saying, hey, I made this much money, thank you so much, I was able to learn this and this and this. That's why I do this channel. That's my hope, and that's my ultimate goal for, making these videos. So if you guys have any thoughts, questions, concerns, email me, reach out, however you need. I'm always here to help you guys. And with that being said, I will catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.